For a generation that needs to arise, there are 5 requirements. And if those requirements are kept, whether they like you or not, whether they hate you, whether they gang up against you, you will still shine and you will be the one chosen. Did you read the life of Joseph? His brothers hated him. They sold him as a slave for him to die and waste. At the end of the day, he was the answer. So the hatred of people will mean nothing if you know what to do. You don't have to be the son of the governor to shine. You don't have to be the son of a senator to shine. You don't have to be the son of anybody to shine. All you need to do is to know what it means to arise, and then to take the responsibility to arise. You can be a slave and shine. Joseph showed us that. You can be a prisoner and shine. Joseph showed us that. You can be a shepherd boy, forgotten in the wilderness, and shine. David showed us that. When Samuel came to David's house, he said, bring your sons. Can you imagine? God have sent me to anoint a king, and the man forgot David. Does that not give you an idea the quality of life David was living? If somebody comes to your house and tells you there's an advantage for your children, will you forget anyone? To show you that David was literally forgotten. He was not a part of that family. You know where David was when that special occasion was going on? He was with sheep in the wilderness. And they forgot about him. In fact, they didn't care. A lion came, it would have killed David. A bear came, it would have killed David. And you know that if David did not tell Saul, we would not have known, because nobody cared. When he came back and said, I escaped a lion, they said, get out. Even if you die, what does your life imply? Your life means nothing. That's how they saw David. And 7 sons walked past Samuel. No one was there. The man still did not remember. Okay, if God didn't choose any of this one, I have another son. He didn't remember, because he didn't consider David a son. It was Samuel that asked, don't you have any other child? He said, well, there's a boy somewhere in the wilderness. I don't know if God can pick that kind of person. Everybody hearing me tonight, that your generation has given up on you, you will be the chosen one. What does it mean to arise? What are the protocols that everybody who wants to arise and shine, what are the protocols that must undergird his life? Number 1, the capacity to discern your season. Not every season is the same. Not every season is the same. There are many Christians today who are where they are because they missed their windows. For those of us who fly, you know what I'm talking about. If you miss your flight by 5 minutes, all the effort you put was a waste. Sometimes you come to the airport, you are seeing the plane, they say it's airborne. You will have to go back home and wait for the next time of flight. So if you know how to live your life strategically, you will discern the time of the flight, and you will be available before the flight time. This same flight we caught to arrive here in Akwa Ibom, there were many people who came to the counter. They told them they have closed the counter. And they went back home. The plane was there, but they missed their time. The reason many don't arise, even though they are laboring so hard, is because they don't understand the laws of seasons. If you miss your season, your effort is a waste. There are many Christians who are doing what they should do at the wrong time. When they should pray, that's when they are sleeping. And so when others are sleeping, that's when they are praying. So the time for their rest becomes a time for body. May God help you to have the discernment to understand your season. The reason most of these men succeeded was because they knew their season. David knew the season to fight with bears. Because if he missed that season, Goliath would have killed him. David knew the season to stay quiet and humble, learning the covenant. When he confronted Goliath, he had what his brothers didn't have. Eliab had a huge shoulder. And so when he comes out, he moves with shoulder. When he met Saul, Saul was bigger than him. And then to make things worse, when they met Goliath, Goliath was bigger than both him and Saul put together. And so he discovered that big shoulder doesn't work. But you know what David was doing? When they were walking with shoulders, David was learning the covenants of God. And so when David met Goliath, he was not intimidated by his size. Goliath kept shouting. Everybody was quaking. He said, I come against you in the name of the God of Israel that you have defied. So he knew what his brothers didn't know. When did he learn it? So when they were doing politics around their father, trying to do who will be the favorite son, David was studying. So when he went to the wilderness, he opened the Torah. He was learning something. He was searching something. He was asking questions. He was seeking God. And he was learning what they didn't know. The day of manifestation, he came with what he had that no other person has. This is the time for you to study. But while you are in the university, you are going looking for clubs on Friday. You don't need a club now. And you may not need it in your life. This is the time to study chemistry. This is the time to study biology. But while they are studying, you are looking for club. And your priority is hair and gown. And so when your season comes, when you should speak, you don't know what to say. Because that corridor will require some level of talk, eloquence, for you to be choosing. But you see, when you should have studied, you went clubbing. You will now discover that you cannot carry clubs to the season of your manifestation. And so all the pleasure will die. You would have buried your destiny. There is a season where relaxation is a sin. There is a season where to just have friends, you sit down and talk to, doing nothing, is a sin. It has nothing to do with hell, but it has everything to do with your destiny. There is a season where if you don't do anything, you are already burying your future. You must understand the power of season and deploy them. Can I tell you, the reason many Christians are poor today, if you like, pour a drum of oil on their head, they go nowhere, is because they ate their future 30 years ago. They ate their future 20 years ago. And so if God will intervene, it will take mercy. And that's why tomorrow I will speak on mercy. Because if mercy does not manifest, there is no way they can succeed. The Holy Ghost came, troubled them. They didn't respond. The things God put them into to learn, to do, they didn't do any of them. Now they are 40. And they discovered that what the world is demanding, they don't have preparation for it. And so even though they go there, they cannot be choosing. Because they missed their season. Seasons are the first requirement for any champion that will manifest in his generation.